Hallo Freunde, willkommen zurück zu Let's Play, Let's Read Katawa Shoujo. Ja, wir sind im dritten Akt angekommen, auf der Route von Emi und ja, beim letzten Mal haben wir so fast eine Art Liebeserklärung bekommen von Emi. Und ja, durften sie küssen. Was heißt wir? Also unser Freund Hisao durfte. Und ja, wie es jetzt weitergeht, schauen wir mal. In seinem Kopf ist natürlich jetzt ein bisschen Chaos angesagt. Jo, schauen wir mal, wie es weitergeht. My head's in a spin all through Muto's class. I'm going to have dinner. With Amy, who wants to be my girlfriend, no less. A date. And then she kissed me. That kiss, I keep going back to it, playing it over in my mind again and again. Everything about that moment felt so right. My mind drifts off, lost in thoughts of Amy. Nakai, hello? It seems like I've drifted a bit too far. What? You've contracted some kind of amnesia. Someone get the nurse. The class chuckles at Muto's antics. Sorry, sir. Won't happen again and all that, right? Exactly. Muto brightens considerably. Tolles Wort. Well, lovely to hear. I'd hate to have my star pupils stacking off after all. I've been doing well, but I hardly qualify as a star pupil, I think. I'm fairly certain that this class is the sort that everyone does well in. It's just memorizing formulas. True to my word, I managed to pay attention for the rest of the class. Nakai, may I have a word with you? I wonder if I'm in trouble for earlier. Sure. Am I in trouble? Muto looks genuinely confused for a moment. Beg your pardon? He tilts his head to one side and thinks for a moment. Oh, that! No, you are not in any sort of trouble. There's just a question I want to ask you. What's that? Nothing terrible. I was just wondering what your plans for after graduation. Are you going to university? Yeah, I guess. I can't really see a reason not to go. Given any thought to what you'll study? Not really, no. I figure I'll come up with something when I get there. Muto laughs. Taking things as they come, eh? I'd argue against it, but that's how I did things when I went to university. Well, not really. I knew I'd go into a science, I just wasn't sure which one. Ended up with physics, but could just as well have gone for astronomy or what have you. Actually, I did go for chemistry first, but there were all sorts of things. Muto trails off and frowns slightly. It takes a minute for him to recover his train of thought, and I wait patiently for him to continue. So anyway, I did a lot of physics as well, because I had an interest in that, but I wasn't sure if it was for me. So I went back to chemistry, and here we are, yes? He smiles at me enthusiastically, as if waiting for me to confirm that yes, here is where we are. Somehow I get the feeling that Muto had a plan for this conversation, but I'll be damned if I can figure it out. I'm sorry, I'm not following you. Muto frowns and rubs his chin a bit, looking perplexed. He then snaps his fingers as if he's remembered what the point of this all was. Right, yes, you. Me? Yes, you should look into studying one of the sciences. You're fantastic at it. Unless you'd rather just go into math. Muto makes a sore face. I'm not a big fan of straight maths. I always like the experiments more than the proofs. You're saying I should study science at university? Muto seems thrown off balance by my question. Well, sort of. You could also join the science club. Trouble is, there's not actually a science club. But there could be. You could even be a charter member. A founding father. Of course, you need to find other members. Jetzt will er mich hier wirklich dazu überreden, einen eigenen Club zu gründen. Okay. Well, only if you wanted to. We could just start it up with the two of us. And, I could give you things to read and we could talk about them. And I could help you get ready for university and such as well. Ihm scheint ja was an mir zu liegen, dem Guten. Beziehungsweise an Hisao. Wait. Muto rummages around in his briefcase and tosses me a book. Read that. If it's interesting, then we can talk about it. A brief history of time? I don't know if I actually want to read this, but Muto seems pretty excited about it. What's it about? Time, space, space-time, black holes and such. And it's not that dense, just to see if that sort of thing's interesting for you, you understand? Hang around after class and we can either discuss it or I can show you how to make explosives in the lab. Meint er das ernst? He waves a hand at my quizzical expression. Joking, sorry. Okay. Still, I've kept you here long enough for now. Think about science as a career path, Nakai. I think you'd enjoy it. Okay, I will. Thank you for the book. I leave the classroom and look up at the clock. Quite a chunk of time to kill until Amy's out of practice. Guess I'll give this book a look. I should probably shower as well. Showering before a date's only proper, right? I head back to the dorms. I wonder where I'm supposed to meet Amy anyway. She said after practice, but she didn't say where I should find her. I guess I can just swing by the track. That's probably best anyway. If she needs a shower, I can just wait for her in her room or something. Or in the hallway, I guess. That would be better as well. I take a quick shower, remembering to take my medication once I hop out. Now, for a look at this book. Ja, ich glaube, ich kenne das Buch auch. Zumindest vom Namen her. War das nicht das von Stephen Hawking? Ich weiß es jetzt nicht genau. Vielleicht weiß es einer von euch. I wake with a start. Shit, what time is it? A glance at the clock reveals that I've been asleep for nearly an hour. Thank goodness. Amy's practice should be finishing up soon. I throw on some usual casual clothes and head for the track. Somehow I get the feeling we won't be doing anything fancy for dinner. Amy doesn't strike me as a very fancy sort of person. Still, I suppose there's a lot I have yet to know about Amy. Ja, das stimmt wohl. Despite our newfound closeness, I still feel like I don't know her as well as I should. Oh well, I have lots of time to fix that. Richtig. Das kommt alles mit der Zeit. To be honest, I'm looking forward to getting to know her more. I'm so caught up in my own thoughts that I hardly register that I'm already at the track. Amy is nowhere to be found. I don't even see any signs of the track team. This could be embarrassing. I turn to head towards the girls' dormitory when I hear a shout. Hey, Hisao! I turn around to see Amy making a beeline for me with a gym bag slung over her shoulder. She's changed into some decidedly more casual clothing, a pair of shorts and an olive green top. Her running blades have been replaced by more realistic looking legs that probably wouldn't fool anyone. Amy doesn't seem to care about that, a fact which makes me smile. Hey, you came. I mean, I figured you would, but still... I suddenly find myself wrapped in a rather affectionate hug, and it proves to be impossible for me to keep what must be the world's largest grin off my face. Well, of course I came. I'd be crazy not to, right? Amy ponders for a moment.
You know, that's true. I mean, I'm pretty amazing after all.
Jesus. Aber man kann sie irgendwie nicht böse nehmen, ne? I shrug in response. I certainly think so. It's an offhand remark, which is why I'm surprised to see that it seems to have caught Amy by surprise. She blushes and smiles warmly at me before planting a kiss on my lips. Now it's my turn to be surprised. Amy steps back, resting her weight on her back heel, looking pleased with herself. My brain fumbles for an appropriate response. I should compliment you more often. Amy laughs and gives me a playful shove. Jerk! I throw an arm around Amy's shoulders and I'm pleased when she immediately leans into me as if it were the most natural thing in the world. So, where to?
I'm not actually sure. Where do people go on dates around here anyway?
That's a damn good question. I've got no idea. Why don't we just head down to the Aura Mart and grab something portable? Amy's face brightens at this idea.
A picnic. I think you are onto something, Hiso.
Okay. Amy snakes her arms around my waist and we begin to head for the front gate. I'm entirely unsure of what I meant to do in this situation, but at least Amy seems to be equally clueless. Despite the relaxing feeling of being with Amy, I still can't help feeling a little tense. What if I do something wrong? I'd hate to make an ass out of myself. Ja, das sind so die üblichen Sachen, die einem durch den Kopf gehen in so einer Situation, ne? The trip to the Aura Mart is accompanied by Amy's chatter about how practice went. I keep quiet for the most part, merely enjoying the warmth of being around Amy. We get a few odd looks from the passers-by, but I don't mind. We wind up buying some bread and instant noodles, realizing too late that we cannot actually cook the latter in the park.
Well, I'll make it for lunch or something.
That'll work. The park is located after a brief loss of direction that I blame entirely on Amy. She, of course, blames me. We find a spot beneath a tree and sit down. I lean back against the trunk. Amy sits across from me. I guess we should have brought a blanket or something to sit on, huh? Amy shrugs.
I don't mind.
And neither do I. Amy tosses me a package of bread and we dig in. Curry bread. Interesting. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to what I grabbed in the store.
Hey Hiso, you look like your bread's a little spicy.
I shake my head, trying in vain to keep an image of manliness. Nah, it's hardly spicy at all.
I see, that must be why your face has gotten so red.
Yes, exactly. The lack of spice has gotten my blood up. Because of the disappointment. Amy laughs and swallows the last of her bread.
Well, if you can't handle it, I'll be glad to take it
sorry.
I'll be glad to take it off of your hands.
Hey, just because you wolfed down yours so quickly doesn't mean I'm just going to give you mine. Amy mock pouts, causing me to nearly choke on my bread with laughter.
Come on, Hiso. Aren't you supposed to be concerned with making sure I've got enough to eat now? We are dating, you know. Though,
Amy looks troubled all of a sudden.
I can't say I feel any different.
What do you mean by that?
What makes this a date? It's just what we would have done anyway, really. But this should feel different, because before, when we had lunch, we were friends. And now we're a level above friends.
You sound like Rin. Laughter escapes and Amy grins.
Well, she might have put the thought into my mind. We've talked about that sort of thing before.
Really? About me?
Not really, just stuff, really. Rin thinks that the change of a label from friend to girlfriend seems arbitrary most of the time. Like there's no difference between the two.
I can think of at least one, you know. You don't tend to kiss your friends quite as much. For the second time that day, Amy blushes slightly and giggles.
I suppose you're right.
Exactly, I'm always right about things like this. Amy rolls her eyes and chuckles.
Guess you're pretty smart, huh?
I nod in agreement. Yep. Even Muto thinks so. He thinks I should go into some scientific study after graduation. Amy raises an eyebrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm thinking I actually might do just that. Really, the more I consider the idea, the more it appeals to me. I make a mental note to look into it a little more closely. So, what are you thinking of doing after graduation? Still planning on running? Amy shrugs, seeming almost a bit hesitant.
I don't know. If I'm good enough and I can find a team, I guess.
You mean you aren't sure?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
Really? You probably should, you know. Graduation isn't that far off. Amy fidgets a little nervously.
Yeah, well, it's far enough, right? Besides, I've got other things to think about.
There's a mischievous flash behind Amy's eyes and I suddenly find myself gloriously pinned against the tree.
Like making sure this is a real date, right? I mean, if we don't kiss, then it's not a date at all, right?
I suppose... Strawberries and curry. Not the best combination, but I don't think I mind. Amy sits back on my legs and grins again.
There, science would approve, right?
I have the oddest mental image of Mutos nodding seriously and making a mark on some checklist. I can't help laughing at the idea.
Well, I'll admit this is the first time I've ever witnessed a kiss met with laughter before. Should I feel offended?
Hey, no. I'm sure science approves. Amy beams at me and I find it increasingly difficult to keep my brain functioning properly.
Oh God.
It is at this point I notice that Amy has stolen the remainder of my curry bread while I was otherwise occupied with images of teachers wielding clipboards. Hey! Amy tries to look innocent, but considering she's just crammed the last bits of my bread into her mouth, it does not appear to be working. Thief! A shrug from my companion is all I get in response. You used your feminine wiles on me. I wasn't that hungry anyway, but I still feel that the point needs to be made. Amy seems confused by the phrase feminine wiles, but the understanding dawns on her features after a moment's thought.
Wasn't anything of the sort. You were laughing. Feminine wiles don't involve laughing.
I guess I can't argue with this. That doesn't change your thievery. Amy laughs at my injured tone and gives me a playful shove.
Fine, you can have the instant noodles.
Are you kidding? That stuff's terrible. If anything, you should definitely eat it as punishment. Another laugh from the girl sitting on my legs, both of which have fallen asleep by now. Oops. I twitch one leg to try waking it up, which has the unintended effect of unbalancing Amy, who falls to the side with a startled eep. Oops, sorry about that. Lex fell asleep on me. Amy remains on the ground giggling. I stand up a little shakily, feeling the nerves in my legs return to normal. My eyes wander over the scenery before fixing on the figure of Amy, who has yet to get up. Her hair is splayed out around her head, her arms are spread, and laughter is bubbling up through her mouth. Everything about Amy seems condensed into this one image. Her energy, her spirit, her childish giggling. The urge to lay down on the grass with her rises swiftly from the back of my mind to the forefront of my thoughts, and indeed I'm convinced that I would love nothing more than to do just that. Unfortunately, the sun has set, and it is probably time for us to get back to the dormitories. While Amy may be happy to stay out here all night, I don't think I have that ability. Besides, homework soon beckons. It wouldn't make sense to start thinking about things like university and then slack off, would it? I extend a hand to Amy to help her up. We should probably get going. Amy makes a sore face. Na, kein Wunder.
You're right.
She grabs my proffered hand and I pull her to her feet and into a hug. This time I'm the one who kisses her, unable to resist having Amy against me. Seems a shame to leave, you know.
Yeah, it does. But if we don't get back to the school soon, we'll probably get into trouble.
Amy pokes me in the ribs playfully.
And you need to do your homework, I'm sure.
Sadly, you're absolutely right. I throw my arm around her shoulders and we make the trek back to school, accompanied by occasional bouts of laughter as our conversation jumps from subject to subject. Everything from running to school to the peculiar way that one of the cafeteria workers smell. All too soon we find ourselves outside of the girls' dormitory building.
Well, I guess I'll be going then.
I guess so, huh? Amy grins at me again with that mischievous look.
Are you going to be able to survive without me?
I laugh. I'm sure I'll manage.
How terrible. Aren't you supposed to say something like, I'll be counting the seconds you are away?
I don't think so. Amy pulls me down into a quick goodbye kiss and steps back, looking unexpectedly shy.
Thanks for dinner. I really had fun. Honestly, I did.
So did I. I think we shall have to do it again sometime. Amy laughs at my deadpan delivery and nods.
See you bright and early tomorrow morning, right? You've got to run off that bread after all.
Of course, despite the fact that you ate the most of it.
Yeah, despite that. See you later, Hiso.
As Amy turns to head inside, I notice something weird. Something so weird that I'm surprised I didn't notice it earlier. She's limping slightly, favoring the left leg. Hey, Amy! Is your leg okay? Amy looks confused, or at least fakes confusion.
What are you talking about?
Your right leg. You're limping. There's a private flash of concern on Amy's face. Either she didn't want me to know, or she didn't think I'd notice. Or I prefer to think she just didn't realize it.
Oh, that.
She shrugs casually.
Must have gotten knocked a little out of alignment during the picnic. No idea what would have caused that, of course.
I think back to being pinned under the tree. So, okay. You should have told me. We could have stopped and fixed it, you know. Amy waves a hand airily.
Nah, it's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it, okay, Hiso? It's fine.
Why do I get the feeling that she's convincing herself as well as me? Ja, um das vielleicht nochmal kurz zusammenzufassen, also sie humpelt ein wenig. Wir haben ja schon gehört, dass das manchmal Probleme geben kann mit diesen Prothesen. Aber es scheint so, als wäre sie davon überzeugt, dass es wirklich nicht weiter schlimm ist oder sie versucht es runterzuspielen. Jetzt ist die Frage, lassen wir dieses Thema jetzt ruhen oder ja, versuchen wir weiter aus ihr was herauszubekommen. Also sticheln wir ein wenig nach und versuchen herauszukriegen, ob das vielleicht doch von ihr etwas runtergespielt wird, sag ich mal. Also lassen wir das Ganze ruhen oder haken wir weiter nach? Das ist jetzt hier die Frage, die wichtige, sag ich mal. Es ist auch sehr passend hier am Ende des Partes, also kann ich euch diese Entscheidung wieder überlassen. Wie wollen wir vorgehen? Ich denke, beides könnte Vor- und Nachteile haben. Tja. Ich überlasse euch, wie gesagt, die Entscheidung. Und ich freue mich auf eure Entscheidung. Ich möchte mich auch nochmal bei allen meinen Kommentarschreibern bedanken. Ja, im letzten... Ach, was laber ich denn da für einen Scheiß? Entschuldigung. Nein, also ich möchte mal bei euch allen bedanken, dass ihr so stetig bei der Sache hier bleibt. Und ich hoffe, ihr seid dann beim nächsten Mal auch wieder dabei und gebt mir einen schönen Hinweis, was ich hier nehmen soll. Bis dahin, macht's gut, Leute. Ciao, sagt euch euer Dreambird.